So good morning. St Neots Half Marathon this morning after racing all summer in the rain and the wind. Got glorious sunshine now. It's winter, wall-to-wall sunshine, slightly on the cool side, so probably just about perfect running conditions. Here slightly early, although not the first to arrive, but got a few things to do. First of all, let's go and get a race number, and secondly, it's back to the car because at 9 o'clock Glastonbury tickets go on sale, so we're going to try and get hold of some Glastonbury tickets. Okay, so super fast registration this morning, straight through, less than a minute to pick up the number. So number 133 this morning, and a nice new blue t-shirt, St Neots Half Marathon blue t-shirt that they give you at the start, so you don't have to collect it at the end. So happy days, new t-shirt. If I'm a bit croaky this morning, it's because I haven't got a cold for a change, albeit I think I'm still trying to get rid of one from a month ago. It seems to be lingering around. Went out gigging last night, so I was at Brixton Academy until quite late, watching a band called the Cortinas, supported by Mystery Jet. So really good night. Maybe not the ideal St Neots Half Marathon preparation, but not really thought too much about today's half marathon. Obviously all the focus has been on the marathons, etc. Not feeling completely race fit this morning. Sort of did Snowdonia Marathon, really happy with that, and I took a week off. Found that week off to be a bit of a struggle. I really wanted to go out running, and then went back and did a club session. Legs just didn't feel right. They still felt a bit tired, which is a bit unusual for me. Normally I've recovered really quite quickly from marathons. And then last weekend was my birthday, so basically just decided to take an extra few rest days, have a few meals, have a few drinks with friends, watch some live music, etc. So actually I only got back into running 3 or 4 days ago, Wednesday of this week. Went out and did a 5 miler. On Thursday I managed to sneak in a 3 miler because I was busy at work. And then went out yesterday, did a park run sandwich, did a 10k basically, going around park run. So felt okay. It took a while to get warmed up yesterday and get the legs going, so not sort of in the running habit at the moment, I'd say. But let's see what happens today. No big ambitions or anything like that. So no joy on the Glastonbury ticket front for me. I've given up after 10 minutes, which is a bit optimistic anyway. Got a few people at home trying to get them, so fingers crossed they can get that sorted, and I'll go out and do this run and come back to some Glastonbury tickets and banana.
They're running, hometown, woohoo! Well done.
Alright, so here we are at the start then, and you can see it's just taken just over a minute to get over the start line. It's a big race, this one. I think around about 1,000 finishers, entries I would imagine, but started maybe a bit too far back, and you can see for the first mile or so it's actually quite busy, lots of people, sort of quite crowded, and trying my best just to stay on a consistent line, not to do too much weaving, etc. The first sort of 2.5, 3 miles of this course are slightly uphill. You come back along this way to finish, and so there's a right turn coming up now, which is the 13-mile marker on this corner here. But slightly uphill, running feeling really easy at this moment in time, but actually the stride power meters tell me I'm running really quite hard at the moment, so caught up in that start of race enthusiasm, and but we keep that going for the first mile or so, and then let's see where we get to. So lovely running conditions, wall-to-wall sunshine, as you can see. Fairly still. I can't recall any wind particularly at this race, at this point in the race, but you can see just slightly uphill, continues on, and we reached mile 1. And a time of 9:22, which is a little bit slower, but a little bit outside sort of 2-hour pace. And then mile 3 comes quick and fast. Didn't do much recording between these points. So an 8:55. So timing wise, we're starting to get down to proper sort of mileage splits. And then we basically come into Abbottsley, a nice little village. Lots of support around here, and a bit of a short, sharp hill. It's a bit of a lung buster, this one, and a bit of a leg killer. Sort of, I'd say no more than sort of 200, 250 metres really, but short, sharp, steep, and takes the wind out your sail a little here. So this between miles 3 and 4, I think. And then actually you do this, there's 2 loops around Abbottsley basically, so this is the first time around this part. They bring you back into this bit in a different way, so you only do this hill once, but you climb to this point on the other side of the green triangle on the left at some point. And then, so you see all the support, fantastic support here. And just at the top of here is the first water station, and I actually took an opportunity to stop and walk and take on some water at this point. Yes, thank you. So now we're back out into the countryside again. You can hear that the wind's picked up a little now, we're a bit exposed to the wind. And then we come up to mile 4, which was done in 9:34, so it had that water break in it, and the watts are still at 268, so a little bit high, etc. But shout out to these people in the red, black and white. They were running with the guy in the black t-shirt, I think, just in front, and I just cottoned on behind them and I ran with them for a good sort of 2 miles. They were holding a good pace and I just slotted in behind them. At one point they noticed me and they sort of moved to one side to let me through, but I was like, no, you're okay, I'm quite happy here, just following on behind you, just let me completely switch off. They weren't. Shortly after this, a big hill comes in and they left me for dead. They went off into the distance, etc. And you can see here we are at mile 5, which was done in 8:46, so we're starting to claw that time back, and it was a 267 wattage wise. But this big, it doesn't come across very big on the GoPro, but this was a huge hill. This girl in orange just in front, she was a strong runner. We kept sort of ping-ponging, I guess, going between each other throughout the course of this race, so she'll come up in the latter parts of this video quite a lot. She seemed to have a good run and good race, and we were doing similar kind of time, etc. And then this guy in front, we actually had a bit of a conversation between miles 6 and 8. He wasn't wearing a watch and he's trying to go for a sub 2, so he's asking me what time I had, etc. What was interesting, this is his half marathon. He did it 20 years ago and did 1:22, and his son was racing it today, trying to take his mantle, and I think he's successful. He came in the top 20 and did a 1:21 or something, so well done to them, etc. It's good to catch up with him on the course. This is us coming back into Abbottsley village now, so a bit of a drawn out hill here, and then there's a steep climb coming up here. Some supporters on the right from North Huts Road Runners taking some photos, so thank you to those guys for coming out to support. But a sort of long drawn out hill this time, not the short sharp sweep one that was on the other side of the road, or the other side of the green triangle that you'll see in a moment. And then we're back into the countryside in the wind. This is us creeping up towards mile 9 now, I think, if memory serves me right. And then straight on to mile 10, and that in theory is the last of the climb, and it's all downhill from here. Didn't feel quite as downhill as I'd hoped, etc. But my splits got faster and faster, so mile 10 was a 9:27, mile 11 was an 8:57, mile 12 was an 8:48, and then mile 13 was an 8:31, so they all progressively got faster by about 15 seconds or so. And so it was obviously an overall downhill, even if the legs weren't quite feeling about it, but that's probably more to do with the effort they'd been put in from beforehand. I was really struggling at this point. I was trying to do the maths to work out what I needed to do to get a sub 2 hours. I knew that I'd probably be quite comfortably under sub 2 hours, but I just knew that I had to keep on running to be able to do it, etc. So mile 12, so the last mile here, seems to go on forever, as I'm sure they do in all half marathons. And this is us now in the finishing straight. There's probably about 400 metres to go at this point. shout out of pain there as I keep the effort levels going. The guy in the high vis yellow, he's a 2-hour pacer, so I know I'm comfortably under the 2 hours, especially if I can get past them. And there's our friend from earlier in the yellow and black t-shirt, running vest. So it's good to catch up with him, and he dipped under the 2-hour mark as well, I think. We actually caught up with each other on the other side of the finish line, not realising that we'd passed each other again. So it's good to catch up with them on the way back to the car park. But here we go. So this is us back at the start finish area. We do a left turn and the 13-mile sign comes up, and it's just a sprint for the finish. Lots of the crowd shouting out, you've got 2 hours if you go, go, go. So everyone starts to put in a little bit of a sprint, etc. And then it's about this time that I see in the distance the gun clock, and that's showing 1:59, so I kind of just give myself an arbitrary goal to make sure I get under 2 hours for the gun chip, which wasn't a problem, but just to get that little bit more effort in at the end. And I think I finished in 1:58.16 in total. So happy days. That was St Neots Half Marathon, and collect a medal here for one of the good volunteers.
Thank you. Keep moving on, guys, forward, keep moving.
Alright, so that's St Neots Half Marathon done. Bit of a slog today, went out really hard for the first half. Knew I was running hard, but I decided to keep it going for the first half. It's just a matter of clinging on at the end and hoping for the best. It is downhill, but it's never quite as downhill as it should be in my head for the amount that people go on about it. So, shiny new medal, got across the line in 1:58.30 something. Have to check it properly later, but 1:58, so I got the sub 2 that I was after. Going out so hard in the first half, if I could have held it, I would have been on for a 1:56, I think, but just sort of fitness told towards the end. So really good day, lovely race for it. There's a couple of spots of rain, but most of it is dry, a little bit windy, it's a bit cold, so I'm going to run and get a jumper on now, and then need to find out if we've been successful in getting Glastonbury tickets. So let's turn on that mobile phone and see what the score is. Anyway, see you soon. I'll get the next videos up. Going to start getting back into more regular training now. Need to start putting it together for bunting for 10. But bunting for 10, I was aiming for sub 1:30, but if I've done a 1:58 here today, then 1:30 should be well on the cards, let alone the time that I've got between now and then to do some training. So anyway, catch you soon. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe if you like this, and I'll catch up with you soon. St Neots Half Marathon 2024.